Sure. Hey guys, welcome to Unbiased Rugby. My name's Donovan.
My name's Gordon. Excuse the balaclava, but unfortunately it's very cold outside.
It is quite cold.
I've got a bald head, so I've got to use it to keep me warm.
Well, so obviously the June internationals are finished now, so now we're just going to talk about this last weekend of games. A very, very interesting weekend of games. I think I watched almost all the games, not the tier 2 games. I think I missed the last game, but we'll come chat about that now. But what we'll do is we'll go through the scores and then we'll just have a quick chat about the games when we go through them. Okay. So the first game, I've obviously got Fiji versus Tonga, and Tonga took it 27-19.
I didn't watch the game, Don, but I believe that I favoured Fiji to win.
Yeah, me too.
It looks like I'm quite wrong.
Yeah, I was also very wrong. So I didn't even get a bonus point or anything in Super Brew completely, but it was completely against the run of play. Yeah. Most people had chosen Fiji to win. Next game of the weekend, which was a big surprise, Japan versus Georgia, 28-0.
Oh, that was actually quite surprising and both shocking at the same time. I didn't watch the game, but I really believed that Georgia would have done better.
I thought so too.
And put some points on the board.
But it just goes to show maybe they're coming off a long season, and the Japanese are just starting their season. So or maybe that. Actually, I don't know. I don't know how the seasons work in Japan. Actually, it would be quite interesting to find out. Okay, then the next game. Actually, I was supposed to go shopping, and then we decided to watch all the games during the day. We watched the New Zealand-France game. What did you think of the game?
A very good game, and I'm so pleased that New Zealand won. It was a tough game. New Zealand, they've got a tough side, and equally France have got a tough side in strength.
Yeah.
But I'm glad. Everybody knows I'm a New Zealand supporter, and I'm happy with the score.
Yeah, look, I predicted also a huge big score. I predicted on Super Brew about 28. They obviously won by, I think, a lot more than that. 35, it looks like, according to my maths. I hope my maths are right.
Yeah, 35.
Yeah, which is a convincing win.
Exactly.
Look, I still think there was one or two iffy ref calls again. Look, I looked at the Mackenzie try, and if the ref was impeding the French player, I believe it shouldn't have been a try, because I try to put it into try to say, if the ref was a New Zealand player, they would have said he'd impeding the scrum half, they would have disallowed the try. But they allowed the try. But maybe I don't understand the rules as much as some people, but that was my personal opinion. But at the end of the day, it was only 7 points in any case. It wouldn't have changed the outcome of this game at all. Yeah. I would have been exactly right in my Super Brew though.
Yeah, so I think they applied the ref rule applies there, Don, in terms of if he impeded a person, whichever side's path that he is running in, he's sort of neutral, and he's not doing it on purpose. Yeah, but he's doing it because he was actually just in the way at the time, and rugby is a fast game.
Yeah, but if I'm a scrum off and I pass the ball and the ball hits the ref blows it, stops the game, and
or it's a penalty or something.
No, and then they have a scrum because it impeded the game.
Yeah.
So that's just another example of where if the ref gets involved in the game, then they stop. And you have the attacking team has their scrum. And that's just the way it should be.
Decide which way to go, yeah.
Personally, I thought it should have been an attacking scrum. But look, I think I'm focusing on 30 seconds of the game, when if you actually look at that second half of the New Zealanders was just absolutely sublime. I think the commentators were calling it champagne rugby, which it was. Champagne rugby is almost like it's from first phase. It's beautiful rugby. All the lines are perfect. That one move where Ricky Ioane came through and broke the line was
that was fantastic.
It was absolutely sublime. They did say they were going to start alluding to the fact that they were going to start showing some of their tactics for the World Cup, and you can see they're starting to work on breaking that rush defence, and I just thought that was an absolutely well worked try. I did think Mackenzie had a few errors in the beginning, but he's still young, he's still developing into that position, and playing international rugby is hard.
Oh yeah, and he's a youngster. I think he's about 23 or so.
He's very, very young. Yeah. He's very, very young. Okay, next game of the weekend. I also watched this game, Australia-Ireland. This is the game I was looking forward to the most. Did you get to watch the game, Gordon?
I backed Ireland, and it looks like they succeeded.
Yes.
So that's one prediction actually right, and the next one, of course, we'll wait and we'll comment on that when we get to it.
But it was another game with iffy ref calls.
Yeah.
You know, the one where Israel Folau jumped up and I can't remember who he knocked. I think it was it wasn't number 6. It was the number 7. It was the Irish captain. The name will come to me. For me, it did look like his hand pulled him down. But you know, I think they were both contesting for the ball. What's amazing, if you think about it, Israel Folau was jumping for the ball, and the other player had been lifted to get to the ball. So that's how high Israel Folau actually jumps to compete for the ball. That's very, very impressive. But look, I just don't think the Australians took their chances when they could.
I didn't watch much of the game. I watched most of the game, and I found it quite impressive. And for Ireland to win, I was quite proud of them.
Yeah,
not that I dislike Australia.
No.
It's just that I fancied Ireland in that game.
My biggest contention with the game, congratulations to Ireland. They deserved that victory. They were the better team on the day. They managed the ref a lot better. They managed the conditions a lot better. It's just, you can see the Irish know how to play test rugby. They really know how to grind out a game. But what disappointed me the most about that game were the commentators. I'm just finding that those specific Australian commentators are very, very biased.
They've always been biased.
But extremely biased. And, you know, everyone knows I'm probably the most unbiased person in the world. But even I thought it was a bit one-sided, that commentary. It actually detracts from the game when the commentators are just so one-sided. You know, and it was a little bit. Only that part was a little bit frustrating. But I think it was just that I can't remember that commentator's name, but he seems to do it every single time.
Yeah, but he got whacked for his effort.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, congratulations to Ireland.
Yeah,
congratulations
to Ireland.
Of all the teams that came from the north, I think they worked the hardest to get their victory. They had to grind out a win. I think them and Wales, they got the most from this tour.
Yeah.
Coming down south.
Oh, the next one, Don. That's a pretty dicey thing to comment on.
Yeah, look, I watched this game. Look, it wasn't the most entertaining game in the world.
Played in very slippery and wet conditions. Cold as anything.
Wet rugby is not the most exciting rugby in the world. But congratulations to England. They managed the conditions. They played the right style of rugby for the conditions. They managed the ref. So they deserved their victory. They really, really did.
I actually not predicted, and I'm not disappointed. I believe strongly that England would win. I said that right in the beginning, but the first 2 occasions I was wrong. But I'm glad England won, and
they deserved their victory.
Yeah, and I think South Africa, despite playing at home in a huge stadium, they had the crowd's support. It's just that I don't think we're accustomed to playing in that wet, stocky weather. But each side played very well, and I tell you, I wouldn't like to have played rugby in the conditions they were playing in.
No, not at all. Not at all. I thought it was atrocious conditions.
Yeah.
Look, the South African players didn't do themselves any favours by 14 penalties in the game.
Yeah.
At international level, that's abysmal. Look, one or two of the scrum calls I thought were very, very dicey. I saw the one scrum, and England pushed first. They got about 10 centimetres, and then South Africa pushed back. And after that point, after the push, you can't be penalised for going in on the side. It just doesn't work that way. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. But I just thought some of those, maybe 2 or 3 of those penalties shouldn't have been awarded against them. But at the end of the day, the penalties were there. They slotted their goals. They took their points when they were on offer. It was a low try-scoring game. There were only 1 try each. Look, the one thing I'm going to have to say is Elton Yankees. I thought this was his last chance to try cement his place in the side. In all fairness, he was behind a scrum that was coming backwards. He was behind forwards that didn't have dominance, so that did limit him. But you can't drop the ball. You can't knock on.
Yeah.
I can understand Warwick Galant doing that because it's his 4th game. These things happen. And Warwick Galant was instrumental in kicking through and for scoring the try with Jesse Creel. But it's just at that kind of level, you can't have your number 10 dropping balls.
I think what might have contributed to success is if they brought Andre Pollard on earlier, and one of the two of the other reserves, and fresh legs, fresh players, and it might have made a difference to the score.
I think there were just too many wholesale changes. I think they did allude to it that Yankees plays quite deep in the pocket, so it doesn't give Esterhuizen enough opportunity to do what he's supposed to be doing, which is carry the ball up. So it's very, very different styles. So I think if you've got 10, 12, 13, 15, all different players from the week before, I think you're... And I looked at the thing. Do you know that there were only 8 caps in the back 3? 8 caps. And but we can talk about it forever and ever and ever. I did at the beginning of the season say we were going to win the series 2-1. So I was right.
Prediction was spot on.
It would have been nice to win 3-0, but 2-1 is better than 1-2. Or 0-3. So we've got to take the positives. The positives are that Dwayne Vermeulen's still an exceptional rugby player. Andre Pollard is our number 10. Bongi Mnambi is our second choice. I'm not saying second choice in a bad way. I'm just mean after Malcolm Marx, most people are second choice. We've found our replacement hookers. I think Archie Snyman had a blind over series. And for positives for England side, I'm going to say that Owen Farrell seems to he had a much better game than last week. The captain for England.
Yeah.
Last week he was quite shirty, and I think this week he was a lot better.
Yeah. Well, he didn't comment much this week.
Yeah, I think he was a little bit more subdued.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. Of all the teams that I like beating England the most. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't mean that in a derogatory way, and I'm so happy we're going to be playing them in Twickenham. It's exciting playing at the home of English rugby. So I'm looking forward to a nice big contest then, and hopefully we can pull it out of the bag then as well.
Might have the opposite effect entirely, eh?
I think we've got the whole rugby championship. What I think I picked up the most was from that game was, South Africa's still growing. We're still a young side. There's very, very few caps. They did say that it's going to take about 7 tests to start learning the defensive patterns. So
it's about 9 months' time, eh?
7 tests will be at the end of your tour. So November we would have been, because I think there's 6 tests in the rugby championship. So it's two Argentina, Australia, New Zealand, and then we go play up north. So I think hopefully by the last New Zealand game, because I think we generally play New Zealand last, maybe we'll be our defensive patterns will be in sync. Yeah, let's go to the next game.
I didn't watch that game, Don, but
Canada, USA.
I'm quite impressed with the USA.
Yeah.
I didn't think that they would actually beat Canada by so much. And I believe Canada has been playing rugby a lot longer than the USA. I could be mistaken, but I'm quite impressed with that score. I didn't watch the game, so I can't comment on it.
Look, I did predict USA would win, but I think after beating Scotland the week before, beating Canada this week, I think they're on a seriously upward trajectory, and it's really exciting to see that North America is really starting to get into international rugby. Then the last game of the weekend, Scotland 44, Argentina 15.
That's a harding, eh?
Listen, guys, I stayed up late. I stayed up late to watch this game, and because it starts at about 9:30 at night. The game started, but when the score was 28-3, I just thought, I just don't want to watch anymore. And I think it was looks like it was an absolute hiding. I will watch the highlights of this game. Scotland just seemed to cut through their defences, just like there was no Argentinian players on the field.
It's odd with Argentina. Sometimes they really excel and play unbelievably well and win.
Yeah.
And then, on the other hand, they just go and lose at such huge scores.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, this is the country that made it to the semi-finals of the World Cup.
Yeah.
You know, this is the country that has beaten South Africa, has beaten almost all the tier 1 nations, except maybe New Zealand. And they just can't seem to string it together. I think they're way down past 10th place in the world rankings.
Yeah.
You know, and we know, because we play them every year, what a good country they are at playing rugby, and it just something's just not right. And it could be that they only have one Super Rugby side, maybe they need 2. You know, maybe that will change their dynamic. They'll have a bit bigger pool to play with. I'm not 100% sure. I know their coach it was his last game, and there'll be a new coach for the Rugby Championship. So let's see. They've got time to turn it around, because world rugby needs a strong Argentina, and that's just the way it should be. Yeah. But that's the end of the season. That's the end of not the season, the end of the June internationals. Of all the games, which one did you prefer?
Me. England, South Africa, the last game.
The last game?
Yeah.
We lost.
No, sorry, England versus South Africa where we lost. Yeah.
No,
it was the most interesting game.
The most interesting. What was your favourite game over the whole 4 weeks?
Gosh, the first game England played, because I predicted England to win.
I liked the first game too. There were 7 tries in the first half.
Yeah, it was an exhilarating game.
It was exciting.
And that they came back from almost nothing to the victors.
Yeah, that was my favourite game. Who do you think's your player of the whole
of choice?
Yeah,
Faf. I just think he's like a little woman.
The Energizer Bunny.
Yeah, what do they call it? Jack Russell, just in and out, but an exceptionally good play. Reads the game. Have you noticed how he reads it?
Yeah, I'd say my player of the whole June series, completely unbiasedly, I think it was Dwayne Vermeulen. I thought it's amazing, because we haven't seen him for so many years, and the kind of leadership and go forward that he brings to the side is just. I just think it's phenomenal. I think he was my player of the tournament. Yes, I'm sure you guys may have somebody else in mind. Please put them down at the bottom here. You know, for me, I prefer I go after players that really go forward. So it'd be like a CJ Stander. It would be a
Khalifi,
Dwayne Vermeulen, Sia Khaleesi. I thought Scott Barrett had an exceptional couple of weeks. And what's amazing with New Zealand is you've got Scott Barrett that's sitting there on the sidelines, and then you've got Sam Whitelock and Brodie Retallick. So it's just like they've got so much
talent,
incredible depth. But on good news, obviously Super Rugby starts now again, and guess who's back? Whiteley and Marks. They're playing next week, so they're going to be available for. I'm hoping, barring injuries or anything, they'll be available for the Rugby Championship.
Pity they couldn't play yesterday. They played yesterday.
Yeah, they could have.
I think the results would have been quite different.
But look, we're hoping that the top Springbok players will be available coming for the Rugby Championship. So we're talking Marks, Whiteley, because I know Dwayne Vermeulen's not going to be playing. We've got even Etzebeth.
Yeah. Nice to see him on the.
We've got some exceptional. I'm hoping it could be. We could have Kuni Oosthuizen back at tight head. So there's so many beautiful options that are happening in South African rugby. So, but overall, I'm pretty positive about the June series.
That's fantastic.
But listen, guys, that's our wrap up for the June series. I'll obviously create another channel a bit later for the Rugby Championship. And this playlist will open up again in November when we have the internationals up north. But listen, guys, I hope you have an absolutely awesome week. And if you enjoyed the video, please like it, please share it, and chat to you guys soon. Cheers.
Cheers.